Hello everyone and welcome back to Rio787's channel. Today I'm doing a video with librepilot, cc3d, and the radiolink at9, and what we're gonna be doing is configuring some flight mode. Okay, so what you will need is your quadcopter, of course your remote, of course, and a battery to go ahead and make sure that all the settings on your remote control are proper. So what we'll do first is connect the USB cable into the cc3d. Now you heard the cc3d connected to the librepilot. Alright, so the normal configuration on the cc3d and librepilot is that it gives you 3 flight modes. Right here we see the number 3, and here we see the 3 flight modes that you've selected or it's preloaded, and then we see right here that they've been selected. So what you do is you go ahead and pick out your flight modes for whichever ones you want. I have attitude across the board with access lock on yaw. Rate is like angle mode or rate mode, a little bit toned down, and then acro plus it's like angle mode or angled flight mode with a little bit of kick to it. It has like a little bit more punch when you're doing your barrel rolls and your flips. So these are my 3 flight modes that I've had. I actually tested out Ratitude, and it's a little bit like rate. I feel like rate is a little bit more snappy, so I've left it on attitude, which is the gyros locked. Rate and acro plus, that the gyros are turned off and you're flying. Okay, so after you've picked your flight mode, you take your battery and you go ahead and go to inputs, and where I was in inputs and flight mode switch settings. And after you pick how many flight modes you want, you can pick 3 or 4. You first need to save it to your quadcopter, disconnect and connect again for it to read your 6 flight modes or 3, 4, 5, whatever, how many flight modes you want. So after you've picked how many flight modes you want, which is right here, then you hit save, disconnect it and reconnect it. And then we go to RC inputs. So after you pick how many flight modes you want, it'll show it right here. I just have 3 flight modes, as you see. So when you see that you have your 4, 5, or 6 flight modes or 3 flight modes, you go ahead and plug in your battery. So that's what I'm going to do now. And you will hear the ESC confirmation beeps. And there they were. We go ahead and power on your transmitter. Okay, so we see we have the signals from your transmitter to your receiver, and we see that these inputs, you see that my inputs right there, that's in 2, and that's in 3. So how to figure out, if there's more flight modes than this, we go to, now we want to make sure that your flight modes is right there, flight modes, and it says channel 6. So under channel 6 on your receiver, we go to mode, we go to aux channels, and we go to channel 6. So how to do that, you see where it says right here channel 6, you can change what channel it is. So I have it on, I have my the flight modes are normally on channel 6 on the cc3d. So alright, we're gonna see right here that I have acro turned on, which is the flight mode right there, flight mode 3. So Alright, so we go to the percentage values right here on whatever flight modes you want. It'll normally be flight mode 4 if you want to get more flight modes out of your cc3d. But as you see here, these percentage values right there, 75, 50, and 25, that's the flight mode. So let's go to stabilized. You see the arrow went right here on 1, and I'm gonna turn it up, and we see every time I turn up the percentage value, and you turn up the percentage value with the round selecting stick, and as I go up on my percentage value, you see that it goes right there. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it right there for my flight mode. For my attitude, which is that's the second flight mode that I have, I'll go ahead and select it. And I have my flight modes on switch C, which is right here, SWC. So you see that it says 50%. So I'll go ahead and we see every time I increase the percentage. And this is the PWM values. The percentage right here is the PWM, which is a certain frequency that it allows you to select these flight modes. It's a selective frequency that it goes to the brain and to your receiver, to the flight controller. So as I increase the percentage value, it increases on my flight controller. Alright. So I leave it at 67. I go to my Acro Plus. I'll select it right on my C switch. Let's see if you guys can see that. Alright, so my C switch, I've selected it all the way down, and we see it's on. You see the switch right there on 3. So that's my third flight mode, and I'll go ahead and increase the values. Alright, so on 100%. So now we see is that's my acro, my attitude, and my stabilized. So guys, I hope you like this video. For more cc3d, APM, quadcopter racing, quadcopter flying, building, repairing, all that good stuff, stay tuned in. Like, comment, and subscribe for any more questions. One thing I'll say before you leave is that when you have more flight modes, these blocks will be smaller, so then you'll have to, these values will be smaller as well. So, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, guys.